So recently on Reddit and other places, I've seen people asking, why isn't badminton popular? But I don't think that's a good question, because badminton is extremely popular. It's actually the second most played sport in the world after soccer. And in Asia, it's a very common sport that everybody knows about and a lot of people play. But I get the meaning of the question, but I think the real question is, why isn't badminton cool? Hey guys, I'm Badminton Becky. If this is your first time here, I'm an American living and playing badminton in China. Please hit the subscribe button and you can follow along with me on my journey as I talk about all things badminton and try to improve myself to a top player. Okay, so why isn't badminton cool? I'm not a sports person, but I could name 5 tennis players, and I don't watch and play tennis, and I could name some sports rivalries like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Maybe that's a little old. I know some things about sports, and I am not a person that likes or enjoys sports. But I think the majority of people couldn't name 5 badminton players. I think a lot don't even know Lin Dan and Lee Chong-wei. Not only are they just legends in the sport, but they're like amazing athletes, top of the world, and like people need to know them, but they just don't. So why is that? I've come up with 3 things that I think badminton needs to improve, and since we're talking about cool, they all start with C. The first thing is China. China has the population, it has the interest of the sport, it has the money. It could really make badminton cool in China, but it's not cool. I see badminton clothes out and about as I'm walking on the street, and people wear Victor and Li Ning and Yannick's all the time. But it's only people that play badminton. It's not anybody that just enjoys watching badminton or is a fan of the sport without playing. Meanwhile, all the people walking around with like Laker shirts or some other NBA stuff, they don't even play basketball, but they know everything about basketball and they're the biggest fans. So why do I blame China? Just because China has the power and the ability to make it cool, and it's not. For instance, I went to one of the, it's called like the Badminton Super League. It's all the pro players, like top 10 in the world. They have their own teams in China and they play. Like for instance, Lin Dan is on the Qingdao team, Chen Long is on the Shaman team, and I saw them and I brought a fistful of money because I wanted to buy a foam finger #1 Lin Dan, and I wanted to buy like, you know, some shirt with the Shaman team's name on it. I got there with my money and I left with my money because there was nothing I could buy. There was no concession stand even. I couldn't even just buy popcorn and soda, and there was no store in the stadium, so I couldn't buy any fun little supporting thing. I was really disappointed that I couldn't get anything. And the reason I think it was in a government-supported stadium and the players are all supported generously by the government and paid for by the government. And because China is a communist country, or socialist with Chinese characteristics, as they say, they don't have an incentive to monetize badminton. China doesn't need the sport to pay for itself. The government pays for it. So they don't have a lot of incentive to have concession stands in their stadiums or to have little stores selling t-shirts and stuff. I just wish China could kind of like market it more and make it cool in Chinese society, because any country in the world where badminton should be cool, it's definitely China. It's just not in the mainstream and it's not in the pop culture, and it needs to be. The second C is capitalism. Okay, maybe you're just laughing at the American promoting capitalism, but hear me out on this one, okay? Badminton needs to sell out. I'm all for like punk bands staying underground and independent artists doing their own thing. But badminton's a sport, so badminton just needs to sell out. I want to go to the mall and I want to buy a Lin Dan shirt at the Nike store. I want my room plastered with posters of badminton stars. I just want my whole life to be filled with badminton stuff. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm willing to spend whatever money I have to buy badminton stuff, and I just can't find anything to buy. If I want to buy badminton clothes, I have to go to a badminton shop. And what do badminton shops have? Shirts for playing badminton, shoes for playing badminton, rackets for playing badminton. I want to buy stuff that I don't actually use while playing badminton. I want to express my love and show my love of badminton all the time. Like, do you know how many people I see wearing baseball hats from the Red Sox or the Yankees? Baseball is not a popular or common sport in China. People don't watch it or know much about it, and yet I see so many Major League Baseball hats. And when I ask them, I say, hey, you like the Red Sox? They go, huh? I don't know. It's just a hat. And I'm like, do you know what your hat is? They say, no, it's just a cool hat. I see a ton of people playing badminton in baseball jerseys. I want to see people playing baseball wearing badminton jerseys. Like, there should be some Air Lee Chong Weis. I would totally buy those and walk around them in my daily life. But badminton shoes are for playing badminton, and so therefore I only wear them in the courts because I don't want to get them messed up and for other times. So badminton just needs to sell out, and we just need to be able to buy stuff. The next C is competition. Badminton doesn't have a lot. We got 3 major brands: Li-Ning, Yonex, Victor. That's it. We know the top pro players, when they get sponsorships, it's going to be one of those 3 companies. When we need to buy new rackets or new shoes, it's going to be one of those 3 companies. Yes, there are some smaller companies, and that is great, but in general, we basically have 3 choices. They don't have a lot of incentive to go outside the badminton community because the badminton community can clearly support 3 companies at a good level, so they just stay within our community. Like, even Yonex stores and Victor stores, they're not fun from a shopping point of view. You go there specifically with a purpose of buying badminton gear for use in badminton stores. I think we need more competition would help. I think it would increase sponsorships for pro players, and I think it would make kind of the clothes and everything more interesting for the common people if we had more companies coming in at a big level, at an international level. So those are some of my ideas about why badminton isn't cool and how it could be cooler in the world. I do put a lot of the responsibility on the BWF. I know they have a big challenge. I know badminton is not dominated by one country. I know something like the NBA, it's much easier because it's all in America and they could make a national deal and whatnot. But look at FIFA. Soccer, football, is international and it's all over the globe, and FIFA somehow manages to make it huge and popular and cool. So why can't BWF do something like that? I think they just need to license badminton out and get some major marketing companies behind it and do a really big push. And people like you and me, common people, we got to talk about it more, and we got to bring it up in daily life, and we got to make it a part of our life outside of just playing. We got to bring a birdie to put in our cubicle at work, and we got to have talk about it with our students in class like I do, and just kind of make it more normal and normalize badminton as a cool sport. So what are your thoughts about badminton? And what are your ideas that we can make it cooler? Let me know in the comments below, because badminton deserves to be not just cool, but the coolest sport ever, because it's awesome.